What's going on, everybody? It's Cody with West War Room Rivals, and I want to talk a little bit about this Jon Gruden, basically the Nevada High Court siding with him so that way he can continue his lawsuit pursuit against the NFL. So I want to talk about this a little bit because I do not think that this is going to trial. I think the NFL is going to settle so that way there's no information that comes out in the light today of how anyone got a hold of Jon Gruden's emails. So that's I don't know if it's a bold take or not, but that's what my opinion is, which means I think that Jon Gruden's going to be on either an NFL sideline or college football sideline. Now, with that being said, I think there are three NFL teams that I see are teams that are going to be going after Jon Gruden's services rather immediately once this whole NFL thing is kind of resolved. And again, I think it's going to resolve kind of quickly because the NFL is not going to want to go through discovery phase. They're not going to want to go through how these emails leaked. Excuse me. And so here are my three teams I think Jon Gruden will be basically on the short list of being hired by. So number one's an easy one. To me, the New York Giants, obvious reasons. Brian Daboll, to me, is a guy that's on his last year. I think the Giants need to almost get to the Super Bowl, like all the way to the NFC Championship, like what the Commanders did last year, to even be considered his job being safer. So to me, this is number three. You got Jackson Dart over here, who is a rookie that they just drafted. Malik Neighbors, who you can build around. Abdul Carter. Plenty of other weapons to build around, I think, for Jon Gruden to just come in here and help lead this team. Number two for me would be the Cincinnati Bengals. Zach Taylor, the Bengals head coach, is on his final year. To say that they had a bad season last year, yes, considering the defense that they had, but this offense was electric still, putting up points. Joe Burrow arguably having an MVP-type season, and coming back again with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. I think this team is going to be a team that would be very much in need of a Jon Gruden type of head coach who's going to lead this team, maybe bring an offense here that is going to make this dangerous, and build a proper football team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I would say the Bengals are number two team that could be getting Jon Gruden. And then the final team for me would be the Miami Dolphins for obvious reasons. Mike McDaniels, this whole offseason, especially training camp, has been a little odd. His demeanor has been different. Totally different than the whole positivity he's been since his time in Miami. I think the Miami Dolphins are going to have a pretty bad season, which means that they're going to be a search of a head coach. I think no better team for Jon Gruden because he already resides in Florida. Miami would be the obvious choice for me. And you still have Tua, Jalen Waddle. Of course, you're probably going to have to look to moving on from Tyreek Hill, but it is what it is. However, I do want to throw a little bit of a dark horse out there in terms of what team I think Jon Gruden or would want Jon Gruden's service, and that's the Buffalo Bills. And here's why. Sean McDermott here, who basically is always knocking on the doorstep of getting to the Super Bowl, never getting there. Bills are having high expectations, and it doesn't seem like they're able to reach that. So to me, if Sean McDermott has another lackluster season, let's say they get bounced in the wild card, does he keep his job? Kind of hard to answer that. However, if he is out as the Bills head coach, to me, Jon Gruden coming in would be not the most logical sense, but it sounds like something I could see the Buffalo Bills doing. Now, will Bills Mafia love that? Who knows? But, again, that's why it's a wild card. We don't know what's going to happen. Truthfully, none of these four teams, I said, could end up with Jon Gruden. He could very much go to college, which is what he said he wants to do as well. So drop a comment down below where you think Jon Gruden will end up, whether it's NFL or college, and what team you think it'll be.